This KD slander has to stop, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that dude
He ain't got nothing
is
to
a
do with this.
special talent,
Yeah,
man.
he ain't got nothing to do with this. Leave him
So,
out of it.
yeah, leave him out of that.
On today's Wind Up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis recap the NBA Finals, provide off-season NBA news, as well as discuss the WNBA Week in Review. Welcome to today's show. The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. Dr. Keith Adams is the president of the CKA Save Project, a nonprofit organization designed to assist student athletes and the people who work with them through educational and professional development. He is a career academic and athletic leader with close to 30 years of experience on the high school and college levels. He has won numerous championships and epitomizes professionalism. Coach Mike Franchise Francis is one of the most successful football and basketball coaches in the state of Maryland. He too is a career academic and athletic leader with close to 30 years of experience on the high school and college level and is self-admittedly a little rough around the edges. Both men have mentored countless student athletes, teachers, and coaches using their unique methods and approaches to leadership. Both men also share a unique and special friendship that was cultivated often through their unique perspective of life and leadership. Dr. Adams through his extensive educational background and Coach Francis through his life experiences. Can these two men share a podcast without driving each other crazy? Welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner, the Kinsey Page to my Ella Envy. They are called Pretty Empowered, and they are the new NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, in honor of the WNBA season, we're going to do women's tag teams on Wednesday. Pretty Empowered just won those world tag team titles. And I don't even know if you've ever seen Fight TV, but there's just a lot of wrestling content out there. Yeah. I can't subscribe to all of it, but congratulations. And how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And shout out to Point Five for the suggestion.
Yes. And I think I'm going to start tagging when we do a current tag team, the teams to say, hey, we just shouted you out. See if we can, do that. But again, the new job starts July 1st, so I will have more time. But anyway, so segment one, man, we got to talk about the NBA Finals and talk about some takeaways. So by the time this airs on Wednesday, somebody will be in the lead 3-2 because as we are taping, it's 2-2 going into Game 5. And quite frankly, you can't get a feel for either of these teams. So, Coach, before I start rambling off about Golden State and Boston, any initial thoughts you have on the series? One, I hope you're watching it because you didn't watch Boston.
No, I didn't. No. No, I ain't want to watch that. Boston Miami was boring. This is much better game than that. I mean, you don't even the swings in this game.
Yes.
This series is unbelievable. I'm looking like, man, Celtics gonna kill them, man. Golden State dead. 3 shots. Woo, they within 2. They up
some
6.
Of the shots they hit. I mean, as a coach, we've all had that moment. No, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. So you're getting all of that. So I got to talk a little bit about Steph. He is as consistent a performer this series as anyone. And there was a stat that I shared with you. Curry outscored the rest of the Warriors starters in Game 4, 43-39, and he did it at 34. And he is the oldest player to do that since Michael Jordan did it at 35 Also in Game 6 against the Utah Jazz in '98. That was a push off.
No, it wasn't. It was a clean stew. Like you go that and you go that way like that, and you got that arm that because he was very cross, but when he went to cross it, his body got in the way, so he just like hooked on that arm a little bit. That's it. That's how it worked.
But Mike, I'm going to be in the minority. I think this is the last call for alcohol, as the Times said in Purple Rain. Uh, Teams are not getting worse; they're going to get better. And man, that the Warriors look old. They do to me. Draymond Green, dull knife, just ain't cutting, talking loud and saying nothing. And tell me, does he really do a podcast after every game?
Every game, run straight to the room and do a podcast.
What in the world?
He does his obligations, then he's out, and it's podcast time.
I don't know
In his
which one of
hotel
my
room.
partners that I talk to. I don't, because I don't want to misquote, but my partner was the one that said, my friend was the one that said, you know what he's doing? And I'm like, I'm not paying attention. What's going on? He tapes a podcast
Every night.
after a game.
Mhm.
That's
And
man.
come for Charles Barkley, like like bad.
Man,
He
what
on
are we
Charles
doing,
Barkley
man?
back.
Well, Klay Thompson hadn't played well either. And I
But
thought
he
you
hit
made a
big
good
shots.
point. Yes, he did. But I'd like for you to expand upon your point, because when I brought it up to basketball people, it caused everyone pause. So last week, fans, to reset my partner, he mentioned that Klay Thompson has never been, or has not been consistently, a number two on any of these teams. And now that he's a number two, he's being guarded differently, and he has to put the ball on the floor a
Hmm.
little more than Clay is comfortable with. And if you remember the 60-point game or whatever he did, he had like 11 dribbles that game. Whenever he did that. So,
Hmm.
Mike, can you talk a little bit more about that? Because, I thought that was a tremendous point you made. And it's something I looked for,
Hmm.
watching the game.
Yeah, back when they was in the not say heyday, but when they had KD and all that, like you scouting against them, your priority, he ain't the top of the list. He might not even be top 3 of the list at some point. Like he was number 3 for sure, guaranteed. But that was how he was moving. If everybody was healthy, all things being considered, and everybody's fine, KD and Steph 1 and 2, 1 and 2, those are your priorities. Now, when it comes to the offense, like when they was loaded like that, it comes to the offense. All right, we're gonna let him screen off the top. Draymond come set the screen for KD. KD try to get to the middle, read the defense. If pull up. If not, kick. You got Steph on the wing, right? So that's your first 2 options. You rotate depending on how you play that screen. You get to those 2. Somebody's got to come up. So that leaves that guy over in the corner by himself, right? The one with 11 dribbles. Now he's the third option. Okay, he's the third option. Now he's open. He get a shot. Now KD ain't there. You got Steph there, who's busting his butt. You see that. So now
Every night.
Steph
Yeah.
gets rid of it. They throwing it to him. Now he got to make something happen. Whereas when you throw it to Steph as a number 2, he could dribble, make moves, and score. Now that you put Steph at number 1 and Klay at number 2, Klay can't create like that. So he struggles. He struggled. He's just catch and shoot. He's perfect. That's why they call him the Splash Brothers. They didn't call him the Creative Brothers. They call
And
the Splash
this
Brothers.
KD slander has to stop, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that dude
he ain't got nothing
is
to do
a
with this.
special talent, man.
Yeah, he ain't got nothing to do with this. Leave him
So,
out of it.
Yeah, leave him out of that. Andrew Wiggins, the double-double machine.
Yes, sir.
What
Did you
in the world?
He had 3 offensive rebounds from putbacks in the second half that really, really, really set them apart. See, that's the part they overlooked. Kevin Love had 3 with Cleveland when LeBron them came back from the 3-1 and they won. Kevin Love had 3 offensive rebounds and scores. And that was the difference in the game. That's the backbreaker. I still remember it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I look at as a coach. That's what's going to kill you. Second chance opportunities.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about Boston's third quarter woes. What the heck happens? Halftime. We go into the locker room, and I've got to go back to my coaching time. I don't know about you, but going into the locker room, I'm going to give you some insight to Coach Adams fans. The players are in there for the first few minutes while I go over the stat sheet with the assistants. Okay. And before the game, they're like 3 to 4 key points because you can't have 48 key points before a game. There's like 3 or 4 things that I know I'm going to talk about as soon as we go in. We make tweaks, we make adjustments, come out. There you go. Boston hadn't won a third quarter. And when I say they haven't won a third quarter, Golden State has dominated the third quarter. What do you think is going on that Golden State's doing that Boston's not? Because this is quite telling, sir.
I don't know if Boston's even making are they making adjustments? Everything is going so well for them. Maybe they're not even making adjustments. They're like, well, what we're doing so far is good enough. Let's keep rolling with it. But then Golden State's always coming out of the locker room with something new, though. To me, maybe not new, but they try something different to see where they can get, and they just stay the course, though. Golden State never looks out of the game. Like as I look through the series in its totality, they never stress. They never lose it, and I think that's part of Steve Kerr's personality that helps that too. Like he doesn't. He got upset about the foul call the other day, but that was the first time I seen him get emotional. The travel call, and he was right. That was a travel, But other than that, they just stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. Defend, share the ball, defend, rebound, defend, share the ball, get open shots. Best shot is an open shot, and they live in that, and it gets them back in the game.
All right, so to close before we get to our updated final predictions, can Tatum close out? Because what we've seen is Boston's gone 7 throughout, even against inferior teams, and they're going to Golden State on Monday, and the Game 6 is on Thursday, and this comes out Wednesday. What do you think we're going to see in terms of closing out? Have you changed your mind? You said Golden State in 7. I said Golden State in 6. I'm good with my pick. I haven't wavered. What about you, sir?
Home field advantage being what it is, and back in San Francisco down to this tie game, I got to say Golden State in 7. I'm staying with it. I just think they're too experienced, especially late.
That's hurt though, man. He's got to be hurt.
Yeah, he hurting, but man, he ain't doing nothing in between games, but getting probably shot up and no, seriously, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. He at that point, and you can see that fight. I have a whole new respect for Steph. Everybody joke, they too light skinned to win the title, but I think that right now, he's showing some things that a lot of people probably didn't believe that he had, and being able to carry this team, like someone mentioned the other day, it was similar to LeBron in Cleveland, and this guy going for 40. When you're going, and I say we judge greatness, I judge it by knowing they're going to try to stop me. I'm the number 1 option. I'm the number 1 and 2 option, and I go for 43.
Yeah,
dude, I'm top 10. I'm top 10 all time. I'm top 10 all time. You got to put him in that category with Jordan. He was getting the last shot. He still got the last shot. You got to put him in that category with LeBron. You got to put him in that category with Magic Johnson. You knew the guys who were going to make plays and was coming to make plays and still was able to win. Kobe, top 10. Come on, man.
What he did actually didn't remind me of Jordan. It reminded me of Bird, because Bird
top 10. Yeah.
I am going
to this
do
spot
this,
right here.
and there is nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
Definitely.
And when he's up front and they switched and it was Al Horford, I was like, Al, man.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Man, I'll just go ahead and say shoot it, man.
He said go ahead and say shoot it. Why you say that, man?
Because he mixed it. It was his call to make it. So this wasn't an and one situation, to go back to last week. This was, we called for that switch. We got that switch, and he put it up. And when he didn't get the foul, and he was like, "Where's my foul?" I'm like, "Oh, he's locked in. He is locked in." So speaking of locked in, we're going to lock in this segment. And on the other side, we're going to talk about players. I can't wait to talk about players, man. So we'll be right back on the Young Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast, fans. And in this segment, we are going to talk about players. And the one player I want to talk about through the segment, we're going to stretch this out, is Draymond, man. I'm still mad that he's doing a podcast after the game. And I'm mad that there are opportunities for him to make plays, and he ain't making no plays, man. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest, Mike, because that was bugging me. Because he's sitting there waiting for the dribble handoff, and I'm like, man, just turn around, score. You're killing me, man.
Yeah, he ain't even looking at the rim, man.
Damn, I need crickets. All right, still mad about the podcast. Okay, $1 billion. Congratulations to LeBron James. His net worth has recently been valued at $1 billion. God, I can't even say it without just shaking my head. $1 billion by Forbes magazine. He has made it known for years that he plans to own an NBA team, and now he said where he wants the team, Vegas. And I got to think that's probably going to happen at some point, man. But Jiminy Crickets, congratulations to the dude, because I can't get mad at LeBron. I'm not, man. Any thoughts about him cracking the bead?
No thoughts. I mean, it was anticipated. You know what I mean? The guy does a lot. And again, I call him the GOAT for what he does off the court as much as what he does on the court. Like what he does on the court is nothing to how he's uplifted this community, and everything he's done has been about Akron, and it's been about kids. It's been about that next generation. So again, that's why he's my GOAT. I really don't care what anybody else thinks about that. But to me, to start a school, to have these kids live on a campus, to get them out of their environment, they're living rent-free, you know, at his academy, families are there. Like that him and Jalen Rose get the utmost respect from me.
Yes,
utmost respect for what they do. Because that would be something, if I was, you know, financially able to do, I would do the same thing. You know, I would start a school. I would for that.
I want a CKA academy that has a 2-court facility and a half-court facility, that have classrooms, that have office spaces and an auditorium. And I'd like them across the country where we can do both, like a turf field, 6-lane track. I mean, but man, that's real money, and they actually have the money to do those kind of things.
They sure do.
To hire, man, anyway, big dreams, buddy. So longtime players and students of Coach and Dr. Adams know this expression. And if you've read the book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academics and Athletic Success, you have heard me say, the sun was in my eye. I had the flu. I slipped on a banana peel. Paul E. was the ninja. He didn't move. Excuses don't get the job done. Phoenix Suns. A number of theories and reports have hinted that the Phoenix Suns hid possibly a COVID outbreak Chris Paul may or may not have been injured. DeAndre Ayton may or may not have been getting along with Coach Monty Williams. The Athletic is reporting all of those things, and the Suns declined comment, but privately insisted there was no breach of NBA's health and safety protocols. Coach, is this a bunch of excuses, or where there's smoke, there's fire?
The fact that the Athletic, which is a definitely reputable source, like I was fortunate enough to be in an interview. They did an article on my son in Athletic, so they're credible. I really really believe that them reporting this means there is something was going on, and you got to explain something. I swear, because Phoenix at some point looked like, what was the name of the team that tried to play in Space Jam? What was their name?
Toon Squad and the
it's something like that. That's what they look like. It's most of that series, man. Look like the damn Toon Squad.
My goodness, man. All right. So Bradley Beal, who has made the social media rounds because of a promo he cut about 20-point scores in college, which was accurate, actually. He says he has a big decision to make this summer. Assuming he declines his player option for next year, he will become one of the biggest names in the free agent market and could leave the team, the only team he's ever known. So, Mike, give Bradley Beal advice. Should he sign the long-term extension with the Washington Wizards, or should he heavens to Murgatroyd and exit stage left?
I would definitely take a look at the roster of where you are, see where you fit in.
You've seen that roster. What are you talking about?
And then that could help make the decision. But then where is he going to go? Who can take that contract? That's the next thing. If the next place you go, if it's just strictly money, then just leave. If it's strictly money, leave. You know what I mean? Do what you're going to do. Excuse me. If you want to win, you might take less money and leave. If it's strictly money that you're worried about, then stay in Washington and allow them to try to build around you, because he can play. Make no doubt about it. Bradley Beal can play. He can go. I like him. I really do. But, it just, I don't know what happens when people come to DC. I don't know. I don't know what happens. It just doesn't.
I like him too. And there's two questions. He has the opportunity to go down in the annals of the Washington Wizards franchise as one of those four pillars of the Wizards franchise. They're not going to win. Okay. So let's just take winning anything.
What are these pillars too?
Wes Unseld is Mr. Wizard, and I wouldn't even say. I'd say Wizard, not even Bullet, because it's not going to be a Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes situation. This is going to be, hey, the Washington Wizards. I was here. He's going to be like a Cal Ripken Jr. without the one championship. That's what he has a chance to be. Okay, that's a lot of money he would turn down if he left. It's a lot of money he would turn down. So I actually hope he stays. I kind of hope he stays and tries to recruit people here. But this is a bad organization, man. They're not good. They're not good. And there are no way in the next in his prime, this is his prime, that they're going to win anything.
No.
Nothing. At best, they're going to be sixth. That is the top of the top. We're not in the play-in, and that's maxing out all potential.
It's like the newest high is an old low. It's like we're not in the play-in. Yay, first round they out. Like that was the Wizards. I get tired of that. I don't know how nobody do that. Like, I don't want that.
So
can't deal with that. I mean, yeah, the check's good and all, but
checks do clear.
Yeah, they do clear, but damn.
All right. So Zion, I'm still laughing at Zion. You laughed louder than I did. But New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williams reiterated his desire to be with the organization.
Of course.
Speaking to reporters, Williamson was asked if he'd be open to signing. And he says, I do want to be here. That's no secret. I feel like I've stood on that when I spoke. Currently, this does not really have anything to do with that. This is just me wanting to be a pillar in my community. If you are New Orleans, do you re-sign Zion at that level of money?
I don't, but again, I'm different. I'm different. That's just me. I wouldn't sign him. And of course, who wouldn't want to sign up again and where you ain't played and still make money? Like, who don't want to do that? You know what I mean? Hey, I play about a month, get hurt, sit out another year, check still clear. What's up?
Did you say play another month? Get hurt?
Yeah, play another month. That's what he gonna do. He come back, I will. I hate to even do that. I'll let it go.
All right. Speaking of letting go, Melo. And we're talking about Carmelo Anthony, folks, not LaMelo Ball. The New York Knicks are apparently thinking about a reunion with Carmelo Anthony for next season. As the 38-year-old becomes an unrestricted free agent, the Knicks are having internal discussions about bringing him back. Carmelo averaged 13 and 4 coming off the bench for the Lakers last year. What do you think, man? Can Melo and isn't Thibodeau the coach of the Knicks now?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. What do you think?
First of all, it's perfect for Melo off the court too. Kion is really, coming on the scene in the AAU situation, and he's playing with Team Melo out of Baltimore. They play. He's a really good kid, and he has that same fire his dad has. I think Melo coming back to New York would solidify, like, he's a good locker room guy. Contrary to what everybody else believes, Carmelo Anthony is a good locker room guy. Carmelo Anthony can really, really big brother some of these young guys. And I don't care what you say, he still can shoot it. He just got to get the opportunities. I don't think he had enough opportunities in LA. He kept his mouth closed. He's with LeBron. I think he could have been used more. I would have liked to seen him have more opportunities to score more shots. I saw guys taking shots, and I'm like, y'all don't know Carmelo on the floor? Like, that's one of my things. Like, why? Like, the other night, I can't even say the guy's name, Statius or something like that. The guy for Golden State. What's his name?
No, I couldn't find his name on there when you said why is he playing?
Why is he? You taking a three, and Klay Thompson. Klay was right next to him at the wing. And you shooting a three? Like, that's some situations I pull. Yo, look, as long as he on the floor, you don't shoot until he have an opportunity to shoot. If he pass it up, then you take your shot. If they double him, then you take your shot. But all things equal and y'all both open, if you don't pass that damn ball, we're going to have a problem.
All right, but Mike, one, he plays with Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Thibodeau practices like Pat Riley. Two, Melo had played defense since the.
But you ain't got him there for playing defense, man. That man's a scorer, bro. Stop putting my man like that. Nah, man.
At some point, you're going to have to get the stats.
No, but you 38. You calling him in at 38? You expect the man at 38. You know he ain't defending. How many 38-year-olds out here defending? Okay. Name one.
Udonis.
Name one. LeBron ain't defending. LeBron defend too?
No, man. Exactly. I'm not hating, but I don't. Bob Backlund came back to WWF, and it just didn't work out, man. Sometimes it's just best to have the memories.
I think it's a good move for New York. I think it's a good move. And
we'll see what happens.
Personally, it's a good move for Melo. He'll sign them for less money too. It's good. I think it's a good idea.
All right, and the last item up for bid in this segment, the Hornets found their man, and it was not D'Antoni. The Charlotte Hornets are hiring Kenny Atkinson to replace James Borrego. I hope I got it right. As their head coach. Michael Jordan, the owner's owner, said, "Hey, we're going to give this guy a 4-year deal." Atkinson, who came up in the league under Mike Budenholzer, another one, made his name as head coach of Brooklyn Nets for 4 years, took over a team with virtually no draft capital or anything and built them to a playoff team. And then right when they were ready to win, guy Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and just didn't work out after that because he failed to forge a strong relationship with KD and Kyrie and was ultimately fired. Any thoughts about the Atkinson hire for the Hornets? Is this good, bad, or indifferent?
Good question. I mean, the guy, like, he's knowledgeable. You know what I mean?
He can coach.
Yeah, man. He's
Flat out
knowledgeable.
coach.
And anytime you can put that in place, I mean, you can't complain. He deserves a job. He's a good guy. I don't know who else applied. I don't know nobody else who want to work with Michael Jordan. That's the thing about it. You gotta ask yourself that.
Hasn't been the best owner.
You know,
Hasn't been the best owner. And Charlotte, they should be better. But again, they're not winning next year. They're not. They're not. And when we start doing, who's the tops? We got to do top six now because 7, 8, 9, 10 in the play-in. So they're not a top 6 team. They're 7, 8, 9, 10 team. So good luck with that. Okay, that's the mediocre cycle of mediocrity. Okay, just showing up. We're going to play the season out. 7, 8, 9, 10. Play in the play-in game. Okay, we won. We're the 8th seed. We're out in the first round. Rinse and repeat. Okay.
1, 2, 3, Maui. Playoff checks good. That's all these dudes. That's all they getting to, that playoff bonus. Them playoff checks is what they trying to get to, man. If you can get them playoff checks, 24, 25, you might get 25 grand a playoff game. Something crazy like that. Yeah.
So, all right. And in our final segment, we take it to the WNBA, who would take any check you give them because they don't get paid what they're supposed to get paid. And we'll be right back after this brief message.
Dr. Keith Adams, president of the CKA Save Project's book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success, is now available for purchase. The book serves as both a memoir of Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes numerous personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues, including former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. And in segment 3, as always, it's all about the WNBA. Top 5. I am super comfortable now, Coach. Can't mess with me. Aces are still the best team. Sun 2, Chicago Sky 3, Mystics 4 and fallen. And the Seattle Storm is 5 and rising. On the outside looking in, the Dream and the Wings. And I got to ask Kelly to, we got to create something that every week we can blast this out or something in terms of the top 5 as we prepare for the NFL season 2. Games of the week, Friday, we've got Atlanta versus Chicago. Saturday, no games scheduled. And Sunday, Connecticut versus Washington. Did you get a chance to see anything before we go through the stories of the week, sir?
No, not this week. I did not. I didn't get a chance.
Because you're back in school, brother.
Yes, sir. Writing papers, reading, trying to read up on Maryland's laws. That's what I'm doing. All laws.
Okay. All right. Stories of the week. Brittany Griner update. Penny Taylor used her induction into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame to call for the release of her former WNBA Phoenix Mercury teammate, Brittany Griner. BG is our family. She said, in asking for President Biden's help, she's yours too. The entire global sports community needs to come together to insist she be a priority. So again, I'm glad she's still in the news. and we wish her a safe return.
Yeah.
All right, no more Spark. The Los Angeles Sparks fired coach and general manager Derek Fisher and have named assistant coach Fred Williams as the interim replacement. Fish was hired ahead of the 2019 season, had a 54-46 record. The organization said it will begin a search for a new general manager immediately. What are we doing, man? Why are we firing Fish now?
In the middle of the season.
I mean,
you know what I
the
mean?
WNBA season ain't but 36 games anyway. So
Right.
what are you going to get? Sound like a broken record. What are you going to get out of this? Okay? You're not going to win this year. It's not going to happen. So sometimes you got to play out the string and then make the adjustments in the offseason. See what you can do. But I'm making a note of where the Sparks are now after this great big move and where they're going to be at the end of the season, which is home, because they're not as good as these other teams right now, and it just happens. WNBA All-Star Game. The WNBA All-Star Game is on July 10th. After going with the Team USA versus the Team WNBA last year due to the Olympics, the captain's draft format will return. The two players who receive the most fan votes will serve as captains, draft their teams, very similar to how the NBA does it. Fan voting runs through June 20th. The starters will be announced June 22nd, while the reserves chosen by the league's head coaches will be announced on June 28th. Once the final player pool has been determined, the draft will take place live on ESPN July 2nd. Here's some of the names to follow. In the backcourt, Ryan Howard is having a great rookie year. Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum's balling, and Jackie Young. Some of the front court folks, Elena Deladon, Sylvia Fowles, Brianna Stewart, Aja Wilson, to name some. So we'll be following the WNBA All-Star voting and everything with that. And I will actually watch the game because I like that. Let's not overhype that dunk, though. Let's tone that down. That was a little too much on that. But
you think?
Did you see it?
I mean, yeah, but
She
it's
forcefully
girls'
put the
game.
ball. Again, I'm not mad. I just said there was just a little too much pop, a little too much. Did you see that? And let's just slow down. Let's continue to promote the product, but yeah, don't let that be the highlight that we, But hey, I digress. As we close the WNBA in review, let the trade winds blow. I'm glad I finally heard some trades, Coach. A.D. Durr was traded from New York to Atlanta. The Liberty will receive former UConn player Megan Walker and the rights to Spain's Raquel Carrera, a 20-year-old post player who was drafted number 15 by the Dream in 2021, but is yet to play in the WNBA. Walker, though, is expected to be waived and could be claimed by another team. The Dream needed to trade Walker, the number 9 pick of the 2020 draft, to clear cap space for Durr. Durr, the number 2 pick by the Liberty in 2019, averaged 9.7 as a rookie, but Durr fell ill with COVID and at one point was not able to play basketball at all before a lengthy recovery process. And she was an All-American at Louisville, who led the Cardinals to the 2018 Final Four. Man, it's tough to be on the WNBA. It's tough to be in the WNBA, man. 144 players, and they're high draft picks. Can't get burned, can't stay on teams.
Nah.
This is tough, man.
And to get traded in the season ain't that long. To get traded in the middle of the season or a GM getting fired, like I don't know what our expectations are here. And like, what if you went all off season with this guy calling shots and now you want to get rid of, Fish? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But and then this, is Megan Walker? Who wins in this? New York or Atlanta?
Again, what are you getting out of this? What is this supposed to do? So next week, fans, we will start our NBA draft preview. Okay, we're going to do an NBA Finals recap because we would have champion unless there's a Game 7. I think Game 7 would be on Sunday, and a full preview of the NBA draft. So looking forward to all of that. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. I love that Kelly sets the premiere of the episode now. It's like building anticipation. It's wonderful. So we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.